G'day. It's time to down your unders. Review and dissection of content from some of the sharpest minds in the game. Hosted by Adam Camilleri. Art of War. Down Under.
G'day everyone and welcome back to another episode of Art of War Down Under. 245 episodes thus far and counting. This is, of course, the Balance Slate and MFM episode, baby. This should be coming out like directly on the moment that I can release this. But of course, we have recorded this a little bit ahead of time because we've had this document for a little bit now. And I'm joined by my good man, Matt Morosoli, who's the guy who we always do. I always like to have the consistency of the same guy on for like core rule stuff. Just gives the same perspective, and plus, you know the dynamic and the bants between me and the great athlete here.
G'day, mate. I'm the guy who comes on when everyone else is too busy, right? Tell me the truth. That's what happens.
You're the guy who comes on because you're one of the only other people in Australia on an NDA. So
yeah, reasonable.
Default.
Oh, that's it. I'll take it, mate.
Of course, this is going to be a two-part podcast. We're going to be recording this first part, and then we're going to go over to part two and talk about biggest winners and losers, and where do we think the runoff goes from here, what the meta looks like after this. Because, of course, I'm just going to say it up front, Thousand Sons, Emperor's Children, Death Guard, pretty much untouched in the Balance Dataslate, so their rules will not change. So we're going into this new meta with everything else changing around those three factions, essentially. There are points changes for Emperor's Children, though, and we'll get to those when we get to those. But first up, starting with the slate, because there is a bit to cover, so we're going to jump straight in. And, of course, join us on part two, Patreon, Art of War Down Under, yada, yada, yada. Core rules, not one freaking change, mate. That's correct, yeah? I'm not missing something here. Nothing changed in the core rules?
Yeah, I keep getting messages about some CP leadership thing in like 8 different variations that I've heard of. Guess what? It's not in this document. So unless they've stealth changed it between the preview copy going out and the real one, doesn't exist.
I've seen like rumor, hotshot. Shock jock YouTube videos saying how like CP changes are coming, yada yada yada, and 2 out of 3 of the things that they're talking about are absolutely correct, and then that one I'm like, is it? What the hell are they talking about? So if there's a different version of this document that's out there and that is on it and this not on this one, well, it is what it is. We're just calling it as we see it. But yeah, as for core rules, not one single change. Now, first of the factions, Adeptus Sororitas, who I think come out of this looking pretty dang good. Mm-hmm. Of course, still getting all the CP, all the extra miracle dice and all those things. Triumph is the same. All the Bringers of Flame detachment changes are the same, which I thought they could have unleashed some of the stuff on the Bringers of Flame, but the Champions of Faith detachment is where we see the first of the changes. So the Righteous Purpose detachment rule reads as thus: in your command phase, you can select up to 3 Adeptus Sororitas units from your army, including units that are embarked within transports. Until the start of your next command phase, those units are righteous. And that is a significant change for that detachment, meaning that you don't have to just have just stuff like walking open-mouthed through the ruins into your opponent, good old 6 inches at a time. Not fantastic. Zephyrim have a change also, meaning that they're on the charge. They will get both. Their melee weapons will get both their buffs. They'll get both sustained and lethal. And then otherwise, when they're not on charge, you pick which one you want. And then lastly, this one's quite key. Retributors have been revamped. So their Storm of Retribution now reads, each time a model in this unit makes a range attack, reroll once to hit and once to wound. If such an attack targets an enemy unit that has destroyed one or more Adeptus Sororitas units from your army, +1 to hit, +1 to wound instead. In totality, mate, how do you think Adeptus Sororitas have done here?
I think Champions of Faith is pretty good. One of the key things to note here is that the errata here does say to replace the first paragraph, so there's no longer the requirement to like burn miracle dice to make units righteous. You use 3. Not only does it unleash things like Sacrosanct in transports, that's sort of what people were playing before they get them out and have them on the board, but it doesn't cost you 15 miracle dice over the course of the game. I actually think Champions of Faith are quite good.
Me too.
I think it's probably a meta-defining change. Not that Sisters are going to be overpowered and beat up on everyone, but I think this is meta-defining in such a way that we're actually going to see the army played now, right? So I think it's very good.
Exactly right. I think it's a legitimate contender now between Champions of Faith and Hallowed Martyrs. I think you can make an argument that they're looking equally good. Zephyrim, I think, needed a little bit of something. They just weren't hitting that hard, and more often than not, they were a delivery system for a Canoness or for Celestine if you really wanted to do it like that. Even though I think Celestine by herself is just better. Retributors though look real good coming out of this.
Yeah, it's hard to say, right? Because the 18-inch range nerf on multi-melters across the board was kind of like the biggest thing. And like the best delivery mechanism you've kind of got is like rolling a Rhino up and dropping them off and shooting. So like they're definitely better. The question is how much better? I'm not sure, but they're definitely better. They look a lot more attractive than they did before.
I'm annoyed by the way they've done this though, because this just adds bookkeeping to the game that's unnecessary. Like you have to like almost put a token on anything that's killed a sisters unit, and you're gonna have arguments with your opponent being like, no, that one didn't kill it, that one did. And they're like, oh well, I've already moved my Rhino and disembarked in this direction to kill them, assuming that they killed it. And like, I'm sorry, you're incorrect, it was over there. And it's just gonna get annoying, I think. So I wish they did a little cleanup, but I do rate the buffs. All right, tell us about all the Custodes changes, if there are even any.
There is literally nothing. There is not a single change. I think there's 1 points change, so Custodes are almost unchanged.
How do you feel about that? Do you think they should have gone unchanged, or do you think something should have happened here?
It's so tough, right? Because it's one of those armies where it's on the knife's edge of balance all the time. Right now, I feel like they're not good enough, but also you could drop a couple of points of a couple of units and the army would feel too good, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those things that's very, very difficult to balance. I'm not sure that, they should balance it with points. I do think they should balance it with rules, and maybe they should have looked to buff. I'm not sure what exactly. One more attack on like Custody Guard in combat wouldn't hurt. One more on Wardens as well wouldn't hurt. But it's like, it's so easy to go a little bit too far and then make the army busted. And also it's like such a pain to go and modify like one characteristic at a time in a document like this, because you end up with a point where like the codex just isn't valid because every single data sheet's been tweaked so many times. So I think it's fine. I feel like Custodes are not quite good enough, but it would be so easy for them to be too good. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, exactly. If their points went down low enough that they just add another unit of like Custodian Guard to their army, it's that knife edge just gets real sharp and
sure.
Problematic. The one I would have said is that they did a lot of work trying to make Virtus Praetors takeable, and the things that they have done have not made that so. I do see the random, unit here or there of, Virtus, like a single unit or two and stuff like that in some armies, but it's more often than not, all they did was make the Dawn Eagle Jet Bike Captain takeable. So I would have seen, if you're going to give anything +1 attack, I'd give it to the bikes and just let them hit a little bit harder. Maybe it's just +1 attack on the charge, Yeah, that would have been great. All right, Adeptus Mechanicus. Now, it's very hard to quantify the literal entire page that is just Adeptus Mechanicus changes. I feel like if there's no codex that's more invalidated than Adeptus Mechanicus, and they could almost just redo that codex completely because it's almost redone completely. Yep. But the new changes start with the Cybernetic Cohort detachment, where their detachment rule has been changed to add 2 inches to the move characteristic of models in Legionaries Cybernetic units from your army. In addition, unless that unit is battle shocked, add 1 to the OC characteristic of models in that unit also. So they get a little bit better at getting around the table, moving around with their slower units, in addition to just having a little bit more OC dump for, trying to flip things, trying to hold things, trying to get that primary score up. So I like that change. I think it's good. Halo Screed Battleclade is next, which is one of their enhancements, the Solacular Dryad wafer enhancement. Why they've got wafers? Who's having biscuits? Who's having biscuits on the battlefield? Cybernetic Dartsmith model only. When the bear is attached to Castellan robots, until the end of the battle, models in that unit gain the Halo override keyword. The unit cannot be selected as one of the units using your detachment rule. So that's the Halo override detachment, and you will just get a unit of Castellan robots that are just always overrided. No longer will be taking one out of the pool, because of course you can only do 2 or 3 every turn. So this is actually quite freeing. Is an auto take, I believe, for Halo Screed armies if you really wanted to take them. It's probably never seemed better. All right, add Doctor Imperatives to the abilities of the following data sheets. Of course, all the same ones are there, but Cybernetic Dartsmith and Castellan robots have been added there as well. So they're still trying so freaking hard to make the robots a thing. They're trying real hard, guys, and they've been trying for like a dang year to make the robots a thing. Maybe this is finally it. We'll have to wait and see. But moving on, mate, tell us about the absolute slam dunkingness that Eldari took.
Oh, I'm like licking my lips for this one. I'm so happy. Eldar weren't even that good, but I'm still happy when they get nerfed. You know,
well, so here's the problem, right? When you make it one of the ideologies of 10th edition that the only gotchas in the game are Overwatch and Rapid Ingress, and you pretty much remove every other possible gotcha is pretty much gone, apart from like a reactive move. Like every other gotcha is pretty much gone. And the reactive moves are so face up. You know the armies that have them. And then you put Ynnari in the game, you're just going to hurt some people's feelings. And I think this is what has occurred here. So, but go on, mate.
Yeah, so the Ynnari strength from death detachment rule has been changed. So it is now Ynnari infantry or mounted units only that can use the reactive move there. And that unit has to be within 6 of the unit that was destroyed. So basically, when you used to shoot a unit that, you kill a unit in your shooting phase, a unit anywhere on the board could do a reactive normal move at the end of the phase. Now it is an infantry or mounted unit only that was within 6 of that unit, and it's now D6 plus 1 inches instead of a normal move. So there's no more jet bikes moving, 16? Because they could use the +2 move on it. There's no more jet bikes moving 16 and taking your objectives.
No more wave serpents repositioning to deliver multiple units of fire dragons onto a flank to completely bust you up.
So that's a good change. I'm pretty happy with it. Again, it's one of those things that's like a massive, brain power requirement in really hard games, and it's just like a massive mid-table stomper where there's like a lot of feel bads. Yeah. So I think this is a good change.
Agreed.
We've also had Yvrane's Herald of Iliad ability change to reroll 1s to wound instead of all rerolls to wound. So hopefully we'll see those silly fight first incubi bricks go away a little bit. Again, the army wasn't like amazing before, but this does kind of put it a little bit into the ground, I think.
Ynnari, DED dead. It's gone. It's dead. And you know what? I think it's for the best. There's actually very good, very strong detachments in Eldari, and they're going to be just freaking fine. I wish they had when they nuked Ynnari, they gave a little bit to something else, just as a kind of like a little cherry, a little peace token, because I think Eldari players are going to take this quite hard because they just killed Ynnari. It's gone. All right. Astra Militarum, one change. Lord Solar Leontis can order Titanic units again. Yes, we're back, baby.
All right, what's the play, Adam? You're the guard player. What is the best use of this?
It depends. If you're playing WTC, there isn't one because you can't deploy and move a Baneblade on any freaking table. But
can Baneblades walk through walls with the hammer strat?
They can.
Wow.
Actually, can they? You're gonna make me look it up.
They have the vehicle keyword, right?
It might say non-Titanic. I got a feeling it does. You're making me look it up, man, on the fly. We're doing it live. But suffice to say, I have 5. I have 5 thingy thing chassis. I have 5 Baneblade chassis.
Shadow Sword somewhere. I don't know where it is. Is that one floating around?
Oh yeah, they can, baby.
Oh, okay, we're on.
Astral time vehicle. It's happening.
Leon's triple Shadow Sword. Australia took triple Shadow Sword to ETC 1 year. It's back.
It's back, baby. Let's do it. Its time is nigh. All right. But apart from that, Astra Militarum unchanged, which I'm fairly happy with. I think Astra Militarum mostly need points changes. The units and data sheets aren't busted. Apart from, I think, Rogal Dawn tank commanders are just too, like, what you get is just too good, but it's what you get for the points is too good. So I do think the points can adjust pretty much everything in Astra Militarum. Templars and no changes, so just moving on. Blood Angels, mate.
Yeah, so we've got BA. The only change is to the Black Rage ability. So that's units with the Black Rage ability on their data sheet can now. The change is that you now can activate this when you're within 6 of any Blood Angels character or still within 12 of a Chaplain model. So instead of needing to be within 12 of a Chaplain all the time, you can have. Like, I think the obvious go-to is the lone-op lieutenant hanging out in the middle of the board somewhere, giving OC to your death company. Like, it's a fine change. A lot of the time you'll have characters that push up and do stuff anyway. So it's just like it stops you from taking chaplains for the sake of taking a chaplain model.
Exactly. Yeah, you're almost hamstrung.
Yeah, if you're taking BA characters, so you're taking some of the named character chaplains anyway. They're pretty good. So I don't know how much it really changes, in all honesty.
Yeah, it's fair. It's a lot more freeing for taking the 5-mans, because I mean the one you were always taking if you were going to take Death Company, it's 10 and Leon and Lamarty's or Astarath. Astarath is fine. But yeah, this is freeing, and it brings it in line. It's exactly the same rules the Wolfen have now as well, so it may make sense. All right.
Yeah, 100%.
Chaos Knights unchanged. Chaos Demons one change, which you should tell us about.
Is there a change?
Yes.
Oh, there is a change.
Maybe.
I forgot all about this one. Yeah.
How do they not know? How have they not learned from the Uprising winning?
Mate, I won Uprising with Scintillating Legion, and the army's gone down 100 points, and now they've buffed the best stratagem in the book. So the Pyrogenesis stratagems, this is the one that is plus strength and plus AP, and more if you discard a token, went down from 2 CP to 1, which is probably right. It probably should have been 1 to begin with, but it was also still the best stratagem at 2 CP.
Yeah,
so this is pretty good. This is actually very, very important for the army.
I think so.
A lot of times you had CP problems, and this kind of fixes that.
Exactly right. You had CP problems, and you had point-click damage issues into some profiles. You just couldn't kill a Deathwing Knight in cover. You're just oh, well, okay, I guess I've got to do everything else instead now. And now you can just I guess I could just use 2 turns. I'm going to eat these guys for 2 turns, and then maybe do some flybys with Screamers and other bits and pieces. You can try a bit harder now. All right.
Well, a lot of the time, right, you wanted to plus strength on Flamers in shooting, then plus strength on the Demon Prince in combat. But also in the same turn, you often wanted to move the Prince through a wall. So it's 5 CP that's now 3. Yeah. That happened a lot. I'd often have to save up 5 CP to have a turn like that. And now you can go from turn 2, which is pretty good. That
is nice. All right, Chaos Space Marines saw quite a few changes to specific models, which is interesting. So Demon Princes of all of the walking variety are now in line with all the Legion specific, cult specific ones, and that they get blown up within 3 inches of Hedrick Star's infantry. Lord Disco got a complete rewrite, essentially. He's now movement 14, has a perma 4+ invulnerable save. His first ability, the Corrupt Machine Spirit, is changed to, at the start of your shooting phase, select 1 visible enemy vehicle unit within 12 of this model and roll 1d6. On a 2 to 3, they suffer D3 mortal wounds. On a 4 to 5, they suffer 3 mortal wounds. And on a 6, they suffer D3 plus 3 mortal wounds. The second ability is changed to Spirit Thief. At the start of your shooting phase, select 1 visible enemy vehicle unit until the start of the next phase. Each time a friendly Heretic Astartes model makes an attack that targets that unit, reroll a wound roll of 1. So it's got your point at a unit, and everyone else gets real 1s against it to wound. It's not bad. And then it got better in combat with getting an additional attack, an additional strength, an additional AP, and additional damage on its Impaler Chainglaive, which is good because, I mean, the Disco Lord's been untakeable this edition. It was a auto include in pretty much every CSM army last edition, and now it has been a joke. So you are likely to see it in some configurations, in some detachments. I still don't think it's auto take, windmill slam, get it in every list though. What do you think?
Nah, I feel like it's still bad. The reason that it's bad is because it's a large base size on a model that can't walk through walls. It doesn't hit that hard. It's not a particularly, even with these changes, and it's not going to kill 5 Space Marines in the charge, right? It's a little bit of an issue. I kind of just think it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't synergize with the other data sheets in CSM that are actually good. If you look at the data sheets that are the things you want to take, how does this guy fit in? He just doesn't. That's kind of the issue, I think.
So points-wise, he's right between the Mauler and the Defiler. So he's 30 points less than the Defiler at 160 and 30 points more than the Mauler. He will probably do more for you than the Mauler because he's going to do mortals. He's got a little bit of buffing. He can do for your army as well. But like I said, he needs to be taken in an army that wants through walls. He's moved 14 now, which is faster than the Mauler also. So, there is a bit there. Take it as a case-by-case basis if it makes sense for your detachment, I guess. Yeah. Vashtor is completely rewritten for the freaking better because he was a joke. So the Indentured Demon Engine's ability, add this ability. While the model is within 3 of 1 or more friendly demon vehicle units, it has Lone Up. On a Primarch level stat line, having a Lone Up is pretty key. Reorder Reality ability is changed to each time an enemy unit within 18 of this model targets this model. Subtract 1 from the hit roll, and those units have hazardous on their guns, so they're hazardous when they target you. Pretty meh. It's a nombo as hell with the previous ability. So he's got lone up, but then you debuff him if they can shoot you. Well, why don't you just play better and be lone up so they can't shoot you? And then last one is the Unholy Mechanism ability. Change to while a friendly demon vehicle is within 6, you add 2 to the strength characteristic of weapons equipped by the models in the unit. It used to be 1. And then in addition, all his melee profiles have gotten better. His 6 big swings are now AP3, and his sweep is also dev wounds and has 12 sweeps instead of, I think it was the previous 10. They also got an AP and a damage increase. So they were AP 0, 1 freaking damage on his sweeps. They were like the worst sweeps in the game, and now they're quite respectable. I think he's quite good, to be honest. He's cheap.
Yeah, I think he's quite good too. Relatively cheap for what he gives the army. Again, there's only some armies that want to take Vashtor. It's probably going in the vehicle heavy detachment. Plus 2 strength is a good break point. It makes plasma, whatever they're called, ectoplasma forge fiends, 11, which is really nice. So you get to wound all the T10 vehicles on 3s, which is very
the Vindies on 4s now, and the Lehman Russes on 4s. It's big.
That's it. It doesn't really do much for most of the other data sheets. Yeah, pretty much no other data sheets does much for.
Venom Crawler's strength 6, yeah?
Yeah.
Them going to 8's not bad at just like horde clearing Astartes. It's not bad at all.
No, that's true, actually. Yeah, they're not bad. Venom Crawlers are still cheap. I like Venom Crawlers. I think they're an underrated data sheet.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah, that's pretty good. Honestly, him getting load up is good. He's like just a good beat stick in general. So, he's pretty good.
I do rate. All right. Dank Angels. There's quite a bit to go through here. Do you want me to just do this as well?
You can do it. I'll give you your army, Adam. That's fine.
Thank you. The line is good, people. He's been a trash bag, trash fire, dumpster of nothingness, untakeable nonsense, unless you were a real meme dreamer like myself. And now he's freaking good, possibly busted. I think he's genuinely possibly the best or second best Primarch in the game now. But okay, all his 3 Primarch abilities have been changed. And of course, he did get a revamped melee profile previously. So all Seekers Revealed, which used to be the one that like kind of taxed them on their CP, but they had to fail a battle shock first, which was kind of nonsense. In your command phase, if this unit is not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units, it can be removed from the battlefield and placed into strategic reserve. This is nuts. So this is same turn uppy downy, and this is after you see your secondaries rather than like Grey Knights. So it's in your command phase. So you go up in your command phase and you come back down in your movement phase, and he has deep strike. So you can set up some absolute silly nonsense with this. I think this is exceptionally good and super powerful on a fight first possible lone up Primarch with a 3+ invulnerable save. I think it's incredible. Next one is the used to be +1 to hit in an aura in melee. That's now real 1 to hit, 1 to wound in melee as his martial exemplar. And then last one, Emperor's Shield ability, is each time an attack is allocated to this model, if the strength is higher than the toughness, -1 to wound. So he has a logistical and utility one. He has a just make everybody hit harder one, and he has a make him more durable one. In addition, he's just incredible in combat. How do you feel about old Lionel Johnson?
Yeah, he's pretty good. It is really hard to say like where he's going to land in terms of how competitive he is, but I think the data sheet is genuinely very strong. The issues I kind of see is like there's probably a lack of synergy in the way the army wants to play in some detachments. However, I know you'll get to the new Dark Angels detachment review at some point pretty soon. That's
going to be launching on the same day as this is, so you can talk about that because he's busto in that detachment.
Yeah, so there's a lot of synergy with the new Dark Angels detachment. There's probably not very much now. I think without that detachment, I'd feel pretty meh about him, even with this glow up. But the synergy there with the turn 1 up and down. Turn 1 deep strike, Deathwing Knight unit, I think is really big. Yeah. Obviously, he basically gets that detachment ability as his own third data sheet rule, so he gets the -1 to wound. He's just a bit tougher now in an army that's already really tough. I think there is some like real defensive skew you can put on between the Lion, Deathwing Knights with champion to give yourself a turn 1 deep strike threat, and then like some sort of pressure through probably Outriders. I imagine is probably the best choice of Ravenwing unit to take advantage of that. And you can set up things like Fight First Heroics, which are really good. You've obviously got access to the not heroic strat that's in that book too. Data sheet, detachment. Rather. No, all the words that aren't the word I'm looking for. So I think he's really good in that detachment, and in others, I think he's a bit meh. But that's where you can play him, I think. I think that's the best Dark Angels detachment anyway.
Yeah, I do as well. All right, you can take away the next couple. You keep going until you feel like you've said enough words.
All right, cool. Death Guard and Death Watch. No changes whatsoever. Drakari does have one, so it's for the Reaper's Wager detachment. And we're just changing the paragraph on the detachment rule to read, each time a Drakari or Harlequin model from your army makes an attack, if that model's unit is winning the wager, you reroll hit roll of 1, and if it's losing the wager, you reroll hits and wounds of 1. So rather than just getting the single reroll when you're losing, you now get a benefit whether you are winning or losing. Yeah. It's good.
So you just have reroll once to hit army-wide all the time?
Yep.
And then half your force or whoever you decided to build it will also be getting reroll once to wound, depending how you engineer it. It's not bad, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably not as good as Sky Splinter still, but it is pretty interesting. I think this is good. This detachment has really good stratagems. People don't really play Reaper's Wager that much, but it has really good stratagems. So I think this is interesting enough that you might give it a go. I don't mind it.
Yep, I don't mind that either. GSC, take it away as well.
I believe there's nothing, is there? No, there's nothing, is there?
Absolutely right.
Right. And I'll take Grey Knights as well, because there is literally one change, and blink and you'll miss this one. I didn't even know this was a thing, but the rerolls for Warpbane apparently didn't work if your Purifier unit couldn't see the unit you wanted to reroll against. They made this change to nerf the indirect on all of the Purgation Marines, but I didn't know that the rerolls didn't work in combat. Now they do. So the change reads that each time you make a ranged attack, you need to target a visible unit for the Purifier unit that's providing the hallowed ground, but you don't need to for melee attacks. Were people playing it this way? You were playing Grey Knights for a bit. Is this?
I was, and people were. I was forced to play it this way. Because no one managed to use it against me because I saw them setting it up and I was like, I guess I'm just not charging that crap because, that's a unit that has -1 to hit. And then if I'm fighting them through a wall because they've lined the full inside of the wall, I don't get rerolls. So I'm just hitting them on 4s as a limp, whatever. And so it was very annoying that I had to play around the fact that was exactly how it was written. You couldn't really interpret it any other way.
No, honestly, I wasn't even aware that was a thing.
Yep, it was very silly and very frustrating. Apart from that, I can't. This is signaled to be from last change, but I didn't denote last one that Nemesis Greatswords now hit on 2s. So if that is a change from last one, apologies, but I think that's new, and we've just put it in wrong because I don't remember them.
Yeah.
Hitting on 2s. Imperial agents, they still just refuse to do anything with this faction. And no one should now be surprised that it is exactly what we think it is. And it's just a bunch of data sheets in a trench coat that they did a cursory codex for on a whim. And it's unfortunate and disappointing to the people who are dedicated and love that ideology. But unfortunately, we can't lie to ourselves anymore. They don't care about Imperial agents.
All 4 of those people are going to be really upset with you, dude.
I know, and they should be. No, I'm being a straight shooter with them because they deserve it. They're already pushing enormous amounts of shit uphill. So, whatever. Imperial Knights is unchanged. Of course, they're about to, whatever. They're unchanged. And then we have Leagues of Votann. Take it away.
Yeah, so the only changes here are to Brokia, the Iron Master, and Grimnir. I don't know who these dudes are, but I assume they're some Votann chads. They have just made it so the ECOG models and the Corv models that accompany these units don't take up transport capacity anymore. Yeah. So I'm not a Votann player. I don't know what the intricacy of this actually means. I'm assuming it means you couldn't get 5 guys plus a character and a Sagittarius. That's probably what the problem was. Exactly and now you can. So this is a really good change. I feel like they should probably go across, all of those character units that are a character with like a retinue dude and just do the same thing. Things like Fabius and little whatever he's called, acolyte dude, and just do the same thing. It kind of makes sense. It's like obviously unintended that you couldn't put things like this in transports. So good that they're fixing that.
I 120% agree. It's a great logistical buff for Votan. I think it's going to be a little bit freeing because you only really saw those units attached to things that had to just stand on the table, like Thunderkin, big units of Hearthguard and stuff. Well, not even Hearthguard. Like, yeah, pretty much just Thunderkin. And that's you're actually going to be able to take these things and use them as proactive units rather than All right, Orcs is up next. We have two minor changes here. One of them is them trying to make Cult of Speed a thing. Because now speed freak units from your army are eligible to shoot and declare a charge in turn in which they advanced or fell back. So the full Stormlance treatment, which they probably always should have had. And I'll tell you right now, with the points, they're trying really hard to make speed freaks a thing also, and I don't think it matters, unfortunately.
Nope.
The next one is to bomb squigs. I was already of the opinion that this is how it was played anyway, but you tell me if I was wrong, mate. So once per battle, for each bomb squig this unit has, after this model ends a normal move, you can use the bomb squig. If you do, select one enemy unit within 12, invisible, and then roll a d6 on a 3+ attack that your model is. What actually changed there? Because that doesn't seem different to me.
They've just reworded it again. This is how it was intended to be played, but I think it was just worded a little bit wrong so that, like, technically you could throw 2 bomb squigs. I don't know anyone who was. I don't know. I've never experienced one trying to do that. I never tried to do it when I was playing Orcs. But I think technically the way it was written before, you could just throw both at the same time.
Yeah.
Probably more notably is they updated the Breaker Boys to have the same bomb squig wording as Busters. In the previous update, when they nerfed the Daka detachment, they changed it so that Tank Busters didn't need line of sight for their bomb squigs, but for some reason Breaker Boys still did. Now they're all the same rule. They all need line of sight to throw a bomb squig.
I just assumed that was an oversight. They just missed that one.
Yeah.
All right, take it away with the Astartes. A couple of 2 small changes. No, 2 very big changes.
Well, are they small? Yeah. All right. So the first one. So I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anything here. All right. The first one is for Big Manius Calgar. His Master Tactician ability now only works when he is the Warlord and on the battlefield. So there's no more jamming Manius and Gilliman in the same army, and then getting all the benefits of both. You can't get the CP if Manius isn't your Warlord anymore.
Yep, love it. Big fan. Great.
Yep.
So,
sorry. I'll let you finish. I was going to say, and the next change is to Gilliman himself, as we just sort of mentioned. The Supreme Strategist ability is changed to once per battle round. This is the same for a couple of other rules, or maybe just one other rule that lets you use a stratagem for free or -1 CP that used to be written per turn, so you could double up on them. All of those rules are now once per battle round. So there's no more, Hive Tyrant or Gilliman handing out 2 free strats anymore. Yeah.
Exactly right. Now, this is going to be a significant hit to the Ultramarines armies, which I'm of the opinion were extremely boring anyway. I tried to play those quite a few times. I'm like, wow, this is Ultramarines because it's the most vanilla ice cream I've ever tasted. If you enjoyed it, so be it, but wasn't for me. And now it's a complete nombo. You will not take both Calgar and Gilliman. Despite that, though, I will tell you that the points were kind to both of those models because they did take significant nerfs.
Yeah.
All right, Space Wolves, unchanged. Now we get to the Tau. Tau is arguably the most changed faction in the data slate because their army rule finally got completely rewritten to be something not absurd and useless. So I'm just going to read it out verbatim. If your army faction is Tau, at the start of your shooting phase, you can select units from your army with this ability to become observer units. For each observer unit that is eligible to shoot, excluding fortifications and battle shock units, select one enemy unit that is visible to be marked as their spotted unit, a unit until the end of the phase. Units from your army, excluding observer units, are guided units, while targeting one or more spotted units. Until the end of the phase, each time a model from your army with the For the Greater Good ability, excluding models in observer units, makes an attack that targets a spotted unit, improve the ballistical characteristic of that attack by 1. And if the spotted unit was marked by an observer unit that has the marker light keyword, they get ignores cover also. How did they still make this a dog's breakfast of wording for something so freaking simple. So
it sounds like that, but if you read it 2 or 3 times, and look, I get it. If you read it 2 or 3 times, it's very simple. But you're right. Reading it out, word for word, it's a bit of a mouthful. If you didn't get that, what this basically means is when you go to shoot, you pick as many units as you like to spot stuff. They all pick a unit that they can see each, and that unit is spotted. Then every unit that doesn't choose to do this and doesn't choose to mark a unit gets the benefit of the unit that is spotted when they shoot one of the units that were spotted. Correct. So you can go out and your whole army can mark something, and then you've got no guided units and they don't get any benefit. You can go out and one dude can spot, one of your opponent's units, and your whole army can get the benefit of being guided.
Correct.
You just basically pick which units are going to get the benefit and which ones aren't, and all the ones that aren't getting the benefit units that are picking targets for. So it's pretty simple when you read it a couple of times and wrap your head around it, but it is a absolute mouthful of a rule.
It's exactly right. All right, Kauyon, the detachment rule has changed. From the third battle round onwards, ranged weapons equipped by Tau Empire models from your army have sustained 1. In addition, so full stop. In addition, while a unit is a guided unit, each time a ranged attack is made by a model in that unit that targets a spotted unit, you can ignore any or all modifiers to that attack's ballistic skill characteristic and any or all modifiers to the hit roll, which I think is really quite good. Because essentially, if your opponent had pop smoke or was stealth or had any other access to -1 to hit, they just kind of made it so you didn't have an army roll. You just had your Tau no longer. So I'm a big fan of that. I think it's cool. Through Unity Devoed enhancement, through Devastation, is changed to Tau model only, excluding crude shapers. While the bearer is leading unit, each time model unit is an observer unit until the end of the phase. Ranged weapons equipped by models in a guided unit have lethal hits ability while targeting their spotted unit. I actually think this is quite good. So essentially, through Unity Devo just means the unit that they're pointing at will also have lethal hits as well as +1 to hit when you target them.
Yep.
Quite powerful.
It's pretty good. It's the same rule. It's reworded for
to make
the new detachment, and obviously it applies to everyone, which is pretty sick. Yeah,
I agree. And then Monkar has been changed to their coordinated exploitation enhancement is the same wording for sustained hits 1. So essentially, the thing that they point out, you'll have sus1 against as well. Then there's a couple of changes to data sheets. So Firesight Team, the precise targeting ability is changed to each time model in this unit makes an attack that targets a spotted unit, you can reroll the hit, so 4 rolls to hit against spotted units. And then Pathfinders, which I think are going to be like auto takes moving forward, even if they weren't already. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack that targets their spotted unit, improve their ballistic skill by 1 and ignore cover. So they spot for your entire army and get the benefits themselves.
Correct.
I think they're incredible. And then stealth battle suits, forward observer ability. This reads exactly the same, except they just changed the wording to work with the new army rule. So you still get real 1s to hit, 1s to wound against their spotted units, essentially.
But it's for everyone. So,
correct. It's for everyone. So they're so much better.
Yeah. And the points reflect that. Don't you worry.
Yes. Yeah. But it's all for the best. I'm of the opinion Tau are probably, from the slate, they're the most changed. And essentially everything I see here is much for the better.
Yeah, like it's definitely better. There's not going to be a Tau player alive who is unhappy with this update.
That's true.
Good. I'm not sure how good it is, in the context of the other, good shooting armies that are in the game, but it is significantly better than it was before.
Yeah, entirely agree. All right, take it away.
Thousand Suns have got nothing at all. Tyranids have got a couple of changes. So the first one is the Hive Tyrant change, which is the exact same as the Guilliman change I mentioned earlier. So the free stratagems go to once per battle round, not once per turn. And the Psychophage has had a little bit of a glow up. So it's been changed to move characteristic of 12. And its data sheet ability now reads that when in your shooting phase after this model is shot, select one enemy unit that was hit by one or more of those attacks until the end of the turn. Each time a Tyranid unit makes a melee attack against that target, improve the armor penetration characteristic of that attack by 1. You can't stack them. It says you can't add multiple of these on top of each other. But you basically shoot something with the Psychophage, and then you go charge it with Gene Stealers and have more AP. It's pretty good.
Yep.
Also gets the smoke keyword. Very important change, I think. That smoke keyword's going to come up huge, I reckon, on the Psychophage.
Oh, yeah. And then it actually got better in combat as well. So in addition to being anti-psycho 4+ with dev wounds, it's got 6 attacks now at AP 2. So it's got 1 more AP, so 622 on its 6 attacks.
Yeah, I think that's probably the least important part of the change.
It is.
It is. AP 2 in combat is good. And its buff does work on itself, so it can get +1 AP on itself as well.
I think it's really good. It's also giving up 6 I feel no pain. So it's, yeah. Wait, unless that is the biased immobility. Sorry.
Maybe it is. I don't play Tyrians.
If it lost the 6 I feel no pain for this, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. If it gets to this and the 6 I feel no pain, we're doing it live again. Psychophage, let's go.
Yeah, the feel no pain's gone, mate.
Damn it.
Hey, it moves 12 now.
Nah. It did move 8 before for some reason. So it got 4 inches of movement. And now it's a buffing piece. Sorry, now it's a damage buffing piece rather than a durability buffing piece. I mean, and I will say Tyranids have an AP problem in combat. Usually they're 1 and 2 is their AP. So
man, this is probably better. Honestly,
it is better. I'm being hyperbolic.
Most everyone's playing the detachment that has 5 for no pain on demand. You don't need the 6 up. This is better.
Yeah, I do agree it is better. And I was just being a bit, Anyway, that is pretty much the end of the changes because World Eater's got no changes. That is the end of the slate. And how do you feel about it, my dude? Because it's an interesting one.
Yeah, nothing feels wrong. It all feels like positive change, which is good.
Yeah,
I think the tower changes are good. I'm not sure that it's going to make a massive difference. I think it'll bump the win rate up, but I don't think it'll sort of move the dial on like event wins, that sort of thing. The Sisters changes are pretty interesting. They make the army quite a lot better.
Yep.
They're probably the 2 that are most interesting, I think.
Yeah, I like that it looks like they've gone through a different look of things for this one and that they've really zoned in on 1 or 2 models in units in armies that really don't see play and just give them complete reworks, like Vashdor and the Disco Lord, like the Psychophage. There's a couple of others in here as well. And they're just really trying to be like, well, let's just see if we tweak this model that is like pretty trashed here. And if we can just give them another look, just give them another playable unit, if that, is going to mix things up for them. So I'm a fan. I like that. In your opinion, single biggest winner, who got the most out of this slate?
Probably Tau because of how terrible they were before. But I really want to say Sisters, like actually competitively, probably got the most.
Me too.
Out of it.
Yep, I was about exactly to say the same thing. I think Sisters is the one that'll see a dramatic increase in their win rates. Who got dunked the hardest? It should be pretty obvious, but who did? Oh, baby, did they? Got freaking shot into the sun. And lastly, who was missed?
The pain doesn't end here. We get to do round 2 of Eldar Nerfs.
I know.
We're about to make my day all over again.
So I'm going to be a little bit more nicer with the MFM changes because I'm of the opinion they didn't need both. But who was missed here? Who needed something from this and didn't get it?
They probably could have touched Awakened. I think Awakened is a bit too good still. I think the points changes to Empress Children were enough for that army, so I don't think that's too much of an issue.
Where was Necrons? Did we just miss Necrons? There it is. Oh yeah, it's because there was no changes Necrons.
There were literally no changes. Yeah, they probably should have done something about one of the strats. Like to be fair, they did point out the 4+ feel no pain from some armies at least. We'll get to that.
They did
shortly.
I
wanted
them to just put it in that you can't CCB and use the strat. So you can't Ghost Dark and use the strat in the same turn. That would have been enough.
Yeah, sure. Maybe something like that would have helped to sort of rein that in because it is a little bit too good.
Well, all that happens then is that people drop the Ghost Arc and they get points for more units in their armies.
Oh, yeah, and there are some points drops coming. Boy, howdy. So yeah, that's probably about it. I don't know. I feel like, obviously we've got a lot of books that are very fresh, so it's hard to make changes to all the books that are fresh and all the books that are coming very shortly as well. So I think they did a reasonable job on the old Balance Dataslate here.
I mean, they even threw a bone to Drukari. Love them for it. All right. Into the MFM. Let us go. And thank you very much, G-Dub, for doing the thing that you do now where you tell us how much the points went up and down. And this doubles down on what we said about Adeptus Sororitas, because Adeptus Sororitas got some very good points changes. Essentially, nothing went up. Everything stayed the same or went down. Castigator, down 10 points. Immolator, down 10 points. Junith, down 10 points. Paragons, down 10 points. Repentia, down 10 points, which either way you cut it, on the 5 or the 10, still the same 10 points. Retributors, not only did they get a much better data sheet ability, they also went down 10 points. Seraphim are down 1 point per model, and the Triumph is down 15. And I got to tell you, in just people's Hallowed Martyrs army, they probably got 50 points easily.
Yep.
For double or triple Casti, double or triple Immo, and just the Paragons. There's already 50 to 60 points.
Yeah, I think this is pretty solid. I think the rules changes to Bringers kind of killed that army, and then all the points nerfs on top were a bit over the top.
It was.
This kind of undoes a lot of that. I feel like Sisters are in a good spot with the rules changes, and now with this on top as well.
100% agree. All right, tell us about Custodes, and feel free. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
There is one change. And that is that Alaris Custodians are down in points. So they're down 10 for the 2-man, 15 for the 3-man. You get the idea. 5 points a model. Yep. They're just a little bit cheaper. It's so hard to say how much of a difference this makes, right? Because people just fill the end of their army up with however many sisters they can fit. Yeah. This doesn't really change anything. Unless you're running 18 Alaris, you save 90 points. This makes you're going to add a sister to your 4-man or something like that, really, right? That's all that's really going to happen here.
Maybe a little tweak if you're trying to take agents, you can trade Draxus and maybe another piece or something like that. But I was already of the opinion Alaris were quite takeable. Maybe we'll see a few more now. I think at 120 for 2, a couple of 2-man squads is pretty attractive. They're essentially a Terminator captain each for 60 points. So, not bad. Admech. Einstrider Bellastari are down 5 points per model. Then we have Scorpius Disintegrators down 10. That is quite good. And then we have the Sidonian Dragoons with Taser Lances are down 5 points per model also. 65 for a Taser Lance Dragoon is not freaking bad, especially if Chaos Knights hit the meta in a big way. And then lastly, the Halo Screed Battleclade has one of the wafers. The wafers went down 15 points, mate. Those cheap biscuits. They love them. Can't get enough. But nothing went up for nothing went up for Admech. So they came out overall winners. Easy done.
They always come out winners, and it never matters. It's funny. It's
correct. And then someone does really well with them in teams events because they pair a little bit well, and then they just win games. But in singles,
players, you don't know what the army does, right? That's how you do it.
That's it, baby. That's 20 points a game, man. If you
it is.
Ask Jeremy. What does Votan do?
Apparently shoots. All right, we've got Adeptus Titanicus. Wow, no changes. Great.
Really? Shocker.
I guess you're still not taking them. I'll do Eldar as well because it's a good day. The Autarch's up 10, so he's up to 85. The Fire Dragons are up 10 for the small squad. The big squad is unchanged. Fire Prism is down 10 to 150. Banshees are down a point a model, no matter how you slice that. Shining Spears are down 10 points per 3.
Sorry, did you say Banshees are down? No, they're up a point.
No, Banshees are up. Sorry, yes. Banshees are up a point a model. Shining Spears are down 10 points per 3. My apologies.
You're good.
The Warwalker is down 10 or 20 for the 2-man. And the 4-man Warlock Conclave is plus 20 to 130.
But wait, there's more.
There is indeed. The Yanari part of this. The Incarn is up 10. The Archon is up 10. The Incubi are up 2 points a model.
So 170.
Really, targeted nerfs here for Yanari.
And I got to say, unnecessary, but Yanari is dead, guys. Move on. There's plenty of other great detachments you can play in this book. Apart from that, I feel like they could have thrown a couple of other bones. I would have loved to see some Harlequin points reductions because I think that's an extremely fun, proactive, and great way to play Eldar. Like, it's very fun for, most players involved. And they could have put down points on every Harlequin model, and I don't think anyone would bat an eye. But the only bones they threw were for Fire Prisms and Shining Spears, and whoop-de freaking do.
Shining Spears are pretty good in Wind Rider Host. That's about it.
It's true, dude. Like I said, I think Wind Rider Host is perfectly good in teams, especially. I think Wind Rider Host is great as long as you can real confident. But yeah, Eldari. Well, Ynnari in specific. Ynnari is absolutely rocked.
The problem is, right, they couldn't just do rules nerfs here. If it didn't do enough, people would be waiting 3 months to have this nerfed again. I don't think it's trying to kill it because people don't like playing it. Because it wasn't even that good. It wasn't, winning events all over the place. But what it was doing was making unfun games.
Yeah, correct.
So I don't kind of blame them for killing it this hard.
Yeah. I mean, it's round 3 of the first day. You didn't sleep well the night before. You had a crap lunch, and you had a brain fade on the top of turn 4 against Ynnari. You lost the game.
Yeah.
Feels bad. Feels real bad. All right. Ashton Militarum took some significant changes. The first and foremost is Bulgrin down 10 points per 3. So 200 points for 6 Bulgrin is actually pretty attractive, even if you can't order them in any way. The unit of 20 Death Core is up 15, which is quite relevant. Death Riders are down 2 points per model, so minus 10 and 20 respectively. The Lehman Russ Battle Tank is up 10, so 180 for the regular old Battle Tank. The Taurox is up 10, which is one of the most significant changes. So the Taurox being 75 versus, pay 10 more points for the Chimera, I believe is 85, correct, is now a question. Aquilons went down by 10. Ursula Creed went up by 20. So Creed got punished quite a lot, but for 85 points, it's actually kind of hilarious that she's 85. She's more expensive than many Astartes characters, and she doesn't kill one half of a damn thing, but she's such a good utility buff piece by giving you CP and triple orders and stuff. Overall, how do you feel Ashton Militarum came out of this?
They are probably worse, net worse, but I think the army is still fine. The thing is, right, there are so many good data sheets and there are several good detachments that there is a lot of depth here, right? I don't think you'll have a hard time pivoting if this puts your list 50, 60 points over. You'll be able to find a way to sort of
100%.
Bring that back into line pretty quickly, I think.
So Lehman Russ Battle Tank, automatically go for the Plasmacutioner. 15 points cheaper, still the mass damage 3 profiles, but with much better AP, but less strength. It's fantastic.
No rerolls.
But you're rocking up. It's fine. It's 15 points less. Get a Scout Sentinel on it, whatever. Yep. And you can still take the Battle Tank. The Battle Tank for 185 is still kind of fine. What shocked me here is that Rogal Dawn Tank Commanders needed to go up, in my opinion. They are stupid. For 265, they are stupid. They could have gone up 20 points, man, and you'd still take 2 in almost every army.
It's dumb that they are so comparable to the normal tank commander. They are way too close in points. Why would you ever take a normal tank commander?
Correct. Yeah, correct, mate. There are so many comparisons you can make between other, this is the, almost super heavy model in my army, like a Hecaton, so many other things you can compare it to, and it wins on every metric every time, every single one. There's nothing. It's just too freaking good. That's the one that was the big swing and a miss for me. The Death Core is actually, so it's specifically I think it's the Nassim Fushane combined regiment, where he had 2 units of 20 Death Core, triple battle tanks, 2 Tauroxes. That list got hit pretty hard. Outside that, so many things just kind of are fine out of this. So yeah, we'll see. I don't think it changes much for guard. Yeah.
Nas just needs to come and win a tournament in Australia, because when you do that, they actually buff your army instead of. So that's the secret tech.
That's it, baby. All right, Templars.
All right, some interesting changes for Black Templars, actually. So the Chaplain Grimaldus is down 10 points. So is Mr. Helbrecht. So that's pretty good. The big Primaris Crusader unit, the 20 model unit, is down 10 to 310. And Sword Brethren are down 10 points for 5 and 30 points for a 10-man.
We're back, boys.
crazy.
Oh man, do you know? So my assumption here is that they had a look at like what they're about to release into the world, like with head takers and some of the other 3-wound Astartes profiles, and they're like, why are these ones 300 when these other guys for a 6-man you can get them for 160 for a 6 of these guys are like double plus some for only 4 more dudes, but for 270 for 10 sword bros, oh baby, 30 sword brethren might be a thing moving forward. That is a terrifying list that kills anything it touches.
100%. Yeah, I think it's relatively cheap. Like, again, they're more expensive than Chosen, but they are like slightly better than Chosen.
Yeah.
So like I think it's a good unit, and the characters you can put in them are pretty busto.
Nuts. Helbrecht getting the +1 damage. Grimalda's giving him 3-wound profile with the 5-up feel no pain, plus advance and charge. Chuck a Judy in the 3rd squad, and you're golden. You're good to go.
So expensive, but these units are very good.
Very good. All right, here we go.
Tell me about Annual Award.
I can't tell you why they did this. I was of the opinion Blood Angels was equal first or second best Astartes option in the game. And for reasons absolutely beyond my perception, they have buffed the shit out of Blood Angels. Like, I can't wrap my head around why they would do this. This is insane. This is one of the wildest things I've seen in an MFM in a very long time, because it's completely unheralded and unnecessary. They weren't in a bad place. So imagine in your head a good Blood Angels unit. Just picture it in your mind. That unit went down at least 10 points. Asterath down 10, Balpred down 10, Mephiston down 15, Dante down 10, Death Company Dreadnought down 20. Whoop-de-doo. Death Company Marines with jump packs. Oh, the good ones down 10 points for either 5-man or 10-man, so 120 and 230 respectively. Lamarti's down 10 points. Sanguinary Guard down 20 points for either, so 110 or 240 for the Sanguinary Guard, and then the Sang Priest down 15. I have there is no justification for this. This is an insane buff, and Blood Angels, in my opinion, are busted with this.
Dude, I missed it the first time around. The Sanguinary Priest at 75 points is completely absurd. This dude goes in 10 Assault Intercessors that pop out of a Rhino. That unit gets the +1 AP. They get reroll to win against things and objectives. And then when you shoot them or charge them back, they have a 5+ feel no pain, and the unit is dirt cheap. It is just... It is insane.
At 75 points, you might just take it for a 5-man. Like, you might just...
you actually might. He actually fights okay. In Inheritors, he fights okay. But those dudes run around with like a billion attacks at, strength 6, AP 2 with rerolls to wound. They kill shit, man. They're very good. And like, it doesn't even stop here, because we've got Marine points changes to discuss shortly as well. Yeah. And, I don't, are we going to save the spicy one until we get to Marines? Because there's one more big spicy change that's coming.
Just say it now. I'm dejected and annoyed at this change. This is one of the dumbest things I've seen in MFM. Like I said, this edition is one of the dumbest things I've seen.
Yeah, so if this wasn't enough, the humble Vanguard veteran unit with jump packs being reduced in the 10-man by 30 points. Going to, what is it, 190? 190 points for 10. 19 points for a jump pack Marine with a Storm Shield, a 5-attack power sword with lethal hits with access to Lance and
everything else.
19 points model for a Marine with a good power sword and a Storm Shield. That is,
and a jump pack.
And a jump pack. And access to good strats. It is absolutely insane.
Correct. You just MSU Blood Angels good stuff kind of just got like 2.5 more units, and it makes me sick.
Dude, it's 570 points for 3 units of Van Vets, and it's 480 points for 3 units of Blade Guard. So you're at 1,050. You add some characters in. That is a billion fucking model. Oh, sorry, my bad.
No, billion model. If we're going to swear anywhere, man, it's here.
Yeah, it's so many dudes with storm shields, like, that all fight really good. It's so hard to kill. Like,
and then on top of that, sick. You probably don't take JPIs anymore because Death Company moves with Jump Pack hit so much harder, and it's 120 points. I think it's 10 points difference between 5 JPIs and 5.
I think 5 JPIs are 90, but it's still like it's not that far off.
What was I thinking of then? But look, dude, 3 Sanguinary Guard, which is a 2 up, 4 up, 3 wound, -1 to hit, is 10 points, is a 110 for 3 of them. Yeah. Like for 20 points more than the 5 JPIs for an extra wound. So for an extra wound per model, a 2 up save instead of a 3 up save hits infinitely harder, shoots infinitely harder, and takes every My mind is freaking blown by this. Is what I'm trying to get out there, and you can probably tell by how much time we've spent on this.
So
not happy.
The other thing, right? If you didn't know this, Van Vets don't have to take the Storm Shield. All 10 of them can have the Inferno Pistol. So they can go and have 10 Inferno Pistols shooting an Oath target. They'll actually blow it up. They'll blow up a Rhino. They'll blow up a Knight. Maybe not a Knight, but they'll blow up
an Armiger, maybe
a Transport, and they'll feast on the stuff inside. It is absolutely toxic, and I hate it.
I hate it so much. It's dumb. Yeah. All right. Chaos Demons, take it away. Very few changes.
Yeah, just Nurglings up 5 points per 3, so up to 40 and 70. So they probably stop getting played again for 3 months, and they'll go back down to 35, as is tradition at this point.
When will this pendulum stop swinging? It's essentially been perpetual motion.
The thing is, they're awkward because they're too good. They're too good for 35, and they're not good enough to pay 44. They should actually be 37 points, I think.
37.5.
That's what GW need to do. 37 points. Add to that, the Slaughterthirst enhancement is 10 points down in the Blood Legion detachment. I don't know which one that is. I would have to double check. But the 2 good enhancements in Shadow Legion have gone up. So the Fade to Darkness is +15, and Leaping Shadows is +10. So Fade to Darkness is the kill something and go into reserve, and I believe Leaping Shadows is the Scout. All the Scout enhancements have basically gone to 25. There's like 3 in CSM/Shadow Legion now, and they're all 25 points. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, if they're just going to do that, it'd be like everything that gives you Scout is just 25 points as an enhancement. I'm totally fine with that, as long as it's even. But yeah, Demons overall slight losers, but I don't think the plus 25 points. I think you're going to drop 1 unit of Nurglings for like maybe you start taking blues, a unit of Blue Horrors instead of 2 units of Nurglings, and you are just kind of fine with the points changes. So yeah,
I think
Chaos Knights. Unchanged. They're about to get a Codex, so no problems there. Chaos Spacer Marines. The Chaos Lord with Jump Pack went down 10 points. Dark Apostle went down 10 points. Felgor Beastman, mate, went down 15. Hold the phone. Game changer. Master Possession is down 10, which is quite nice. And Master Possession for 60 points is pretty juicy, to be honest.
Yeah, it is actually pretty good.
Yeah, Trader Enforcer went down 10 points as well. Once again, be still my beating heart for these dramatic changes. But what's the actual change here is the fact that Vashtor got like twice as good and still stayed at 175, which is, like I said, the fact that he's under 200 points, he's like as good as a big knight. Like he's as good as like a rampager pretty much, but has loan op, buffs everything, and like
he's not that good. He's good. He's not that good.
Dude, he's got the same 6 attacks as a rampager that hits on 2s with anti-monster, anti-vehicle, and dead wounds. Like he's actually kind of into a lot of stuff. He's kind of as good. But yeah, you're right. He doesn't have 18 sweeps that are.
Here's the thing, right? You're never going to take a CSM Demon Prince. They're just not a good data sheet. If you were ever going to take a Demon Prince, you would just take Vashtor instead.
Correct.
Right?
100%.
But it's not like Vashtor is going to replace a Prince. So you need the right army where Vashtor is good, which is probably just whatever it's called, the demonic vehicle one, the one where you make a vehicle a demon every turn and get all those buffs on it. That attachment looks kind of spicy now with the +2 strength and the +1 to wound pact thing where you kill yourself and do a bunch of damage, right? Like that seems interesting now.
I kind of am going the other way with it. For 175, he's just like he's got deep strike. He's just like a good rapid ingress unit to go and smash something and be a threat. Like he's kind of a greater demon. Just playing
maybe. That's not bad actually.
All right, you're up. Dark Angels is unchanged, which is interesting. I definitely think the line could have. I mean, it's going to hurt me to say this, but the line at 315 now with his data sheet changes is very attractive. Then Death Guard just got the Nurgling change that Demon's got, same one. Deathwatch unchanged. Drakari, mate, tell us a story.
Drakari, little like sleeper winners here, I reckon. So the Mandrakes are down a point a model. The Raider is down 5. The Ravager is down 10. A Ravager is 100 points now. That snuck up on me because I think they started at 140.
Yeah.
So that snuck up on me. A Ravager for 100 points is pretty spicy. And then a Venom is down 5 to 65. So pretty much every Drakari army saved 30 points here. Pretty much every Drakari army had 5 transports and a unit of Mandrakes, or 4 and 2. So all those armies have saved like 30 points here, which is, it's somewhat significant with the awkward pricing of cabs at 120, where sometimes you like really wish you could take 25. Like you don't want to pay for 30 because you've got to pay for the full 10 man. So like this is kind of good. I think Drakari are like sleeper winners here. I don't think it's gonna change the win rate or whatever, but like you get an extra unit in your army, and that's nice.
Yep, I agree, mate. Emperor's Children saw some changes and of the significant variety. Demon Prince with Wings, the best unit in their book, went up 20 points. So they're now 200. So if you were taking 3 of them, like many were, that's 60 points on your list. Fulgrim, however, went down 20. He could have gone down 40. Still probably wouldn't see him very often. But at 365, you can make an argument for considering him now as just like a run around, a very fast beater with fights first. But I still think he's too many points. Yep. Lucius is up 10. It's probably fine. He's still very good, but I'm annoyed. Noise Marines are up 10. We knew that was happening. They are just one of the best units in the game. And then the Coterie of the Conceited, Pledge of Unholy Fortune went up 10 points on that enhancement specifically. So straight up, if you were playing the Lucius, 3 Noise Marines, 3 Demon Princes, and you took that enhancement, you went up 110 points. One of the most significant points increased armies in the game.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Like that specific list has been hit pretty hard. Now, I think again, it's kind of like relatively easy to pivot out of that and have an army that's like pretty much just as good. People who are taking 3 princes weren't also taking Lucius, so like I think if you were running all of that, then obviously you just drop a prince. But like most armies should just play 2 princes now. That's again still perfectly good. And like you still take the Noise Marines. Doesn't matter that they went up. They could have gone up more. Honestly, I was thinking they'd go to just the 150, but
So yeah, in this army, they're undroppable. Essentially, they do something that you can't. There is no other unit in your army that can do in Emperor's Children. They could be freaking 200 points, and you'd still take a unit of them. It's stupid.
Maybe.
You take 1 unit. You just need what they do so freaking much that you kind of priced into whatever they cost. You got to take them. It's kind of frustrating, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I think at a certain point they're bad enough that, expensive enough that you just wouldn't play the army altogether, right? That's probably what would happen.
I wish they threw a little bone here. I would have loved to have seen Flawless Blades go down a little bit to maybe 30 points per model instead of they're at 110 right now. And the term
Fulgrim,
Flawless Blades.
What? Yeah, you said you wish they'd thrown him a bone. I said, what do you mean? They gave you Fulgrim for 20 points.
Yeah, well, I wish they threw Flawless Blades a bone and put them down by 10 points as well.
Fair.
Anyway,
moving
on, because it's a unit. It's a unit I want to see on the table, but it's just why would you? Why would you for that? All right,
we got GSC up next. Just the singular point change, and that is that Jackals are down 5 points a point a model. 5 points for the 5-man, 10 points for the 10-man.
Yeah, it's good.
So, yeah, it's good. People are playing them already, so that's nice. You get a little bit of points back in your army, which is good.
Agreed. You want to keep going with GKs?
Sure can, man. So the Bro Champ is down 10 points. So he is just 70 now, which is pretty good. I think it's nice to have a cheap character. You did already have the Tech Marine, but the Brotherhood Champ kind of does more for a lot of armies. So that's that's good. You've got the Terminator Squad down 20 for the 10-man. So it's now 200 or 400. They have just reverted that 10-man premium that was on them for a little while. The Paladin Squad is the same, down 20 for the 10-man. So they're 215 or 430 now. Again, just reverting that change that they made to the 10-mans for whatever reason a little while ago. Looks pretty good if you want to play that style army.
It does actually. Like if you were taking, there's quite a few armies I've seen that have like a double Terminator brick and a Paladin brick, or one Terminator brick with Drago, one Paladin brick with the Brotherhood Captain. And I think that, you just save 40 points there. That's pretty nice. It doesn't unfortunately get you another unit of anything in Grey Knights. Doesn't even get you, because Surfters are 50 points, doesn't even get you across the line there. But you could find a way. You could find a way to tweak that to try and min-max it and get something else in your army. And I think Grey Knights will be happy with those changes. Imperial...
So I think more than often you'll get to upgrade something, and that kind of matters a lot of the time. When you're playing with few units, it's kind of good to have as many of your units as possible being really high quality, high value units.
Yeah, totally agree. All right, the next reason that all Imperial Agent players should just accept their lot as the neglected baby of this edition. No changes to Imperial Agents. Not one change. Nothing. Zero.
It's good. They're already too good. Already.
For sure. Yeah. All the droves of breaches I had to wade through this morning, like 15 miles in the snow. Imperial Knights unchanged. Leagues of Votan unchanged. Necrons. Yep. Canoptic Doomstalker down 5 points. Canoptic Wraiths down 5 points per 3. I don't know why the fuck they did that, but here we are. Death Marks down 1 point per model. Illuminor Caesaris, an auto take in almost every list, down 10 points.
Yeah.
Locust Destroyers. The single Locust Destroyer is up another 5 points. So it's now 40 points for a single Locust Destroyer.
At this point, you just take two. Honestly. You actually just take two for 60.
Correct. You just take two. It's done. Or you just take one heavy for 55.
The heavy is a troll. No, you take one over the heavy, surely.
Be a troll, whatever. Plasmancer is down 5. Scorpex Lord is up 10. The Technomancer is down 5. So the 6 Wraith plus Techno is down 15 points. It costs you 300 square for your 6 Wraiths and a Technomancer. And that just makes me sick that you can do...
Very good package for 300 points.
3 of them for under 1,000 for 900 points as dumb. And then the only enhancement that got changed was the 4-up Feel No Pain in Awakened Dynasty, which got 15 points on it to 30 for the Dermal Bond. Yeah. So the Scorpec Lord and that are the only 2 relevant changes that I see. Everything else is buffs to Necrons again.
Yeah, I don't know. Somehow people still aren't winning with this army, and I don't get it because it's really good.
Well, they're doing everything they can to let them win. I don't think any other faction has had this greenlit a run through an edition in such a freaking long time, man.
Yeah, it's weird, right? It's like the opposite of Eldar, because Eldar just get permanently nerfed and they kept winning for a while. Yeah. Eventually they stopped winning. Necrons somehow are really good, keep getting buffs, and they still don't win. So I don't really get it, because this army is just really good.
I don't understand it all. So here's the thing, right? You can take 20 Necron Warriors for 200 points, or for 20 points more, you could take 6 Wraiths. That's now a real thing to consider. And at 300 points for your Wraith and Technomancer package, surely we have to consider the Canoptic Court as a viable detachment in the future. Whether it's better or worse, I have no idea, but just seeing how attractive they made the points, surely we could have a look at it now.
I think so. I think that all of those armies went down essentially 60 points. It's a pretty substantial buff.
Yeah. And F Necrons. just
yeah, true.
This edition, I'm actually, so I don't know if people have noticed, I'm a little bit embittered about this MFM. Balance Dataslate was very good. This MFM has pissed me off pretty thoroughly. And it's not going to stop. Take it away with Orcs, mate.
Yeah, so good stuff went up. Good stuff went up. Bad stuff went down, but the bad stuff didn't go down enough. So the Shock Attack mech is up another 10 to 85. The Boom Daka Snazwagon is down 10 to 70. The 20-man boy unit is up 10 for 170 there. The Copters are down 10 per 3. The 10-man Flash Kits is plus 10, it's up to 170. The Custom Boomer Blaster is down 5 points to 70. The large Looter Squad is up 15 to 115. The Mega Truck Scrapjet is down 5 to 75. The Rucker Truck Squig Buggy, these names are something.
You did it.
Are down 5. The Shock Jump Dragster is also down 5. Squig Hog Boys are down 10 per 4, so it's 10 or 20. Tank Busters are up 5 to 140. Trucks are up 5 to 70. And Zogrod Wartsnagger is up 10 to 80 points. Sorry, 90 points. My apologies. Basically, all the buggies went down 5. Except for the Snazwagon that went down 10. And a lot of the Shooty Daka stuff went up a few more points. They'd already really killed the Shooty Orc army anyway. Yeah. So this is kind of just like killing tactical as well as killing more Daka.
All I can say now is stop, they're already dead. Yeah. No, so as much as like, and so funny, these two armies are next to each other. So nothing has been treated more favorably this edition than Necrons, and nothing has been treated like a yo-yo with disrespect like Orcs has this edition. Yeah, Orcs have perpetually been given amazing tools and fun things, and then had them slapped out of their hand in the shortest time possible. And then the stuff that they're going to pivot into gets hit as well. Like when they destroyed Bully Boys, but also hit the next 2 best attachments at the same time. That hasn't happened to pretty much any other faction this edition, where they've like, I don't know who's advising them on the Orc changes, but Orcs have been given the worst run this edition.
Yeah, the problem is that Daka was completely busted, and then they have now nerfed it 3 times without waiting to see the impact of the changes. That's the problem, right? The problem here is that Daka was obviously too good and obviously shouldn't have been printed, and they took too long to nerf it, but then they nerfed it 3 times. Mm-hmm. So they just inadvertently hit all this other stuff at the same time.
Because they've killed tactical. Yeah. They completely killed tactical. At the same time, they once again hit Green Tide, which is one of their natural pivots. At the same time, they've also hit Warhorde by nuking the trucks by another 5 points. Yeah. And so, it does. It really frustrates me. It really, really, really frustrates me. And actually, my heart goes out to the Orc players out there, because you guys have had awesome rules. Like 3 different times this edition, you've been given awesome rules to enjoy and play that are powerful. And then GW has decided, no, you don't get it. Go away. And it's been such a short window. You've had to enjoy new stuff before going back to essentially your index.
Yeah.
Like, it's just frustrating. All right. Space Marines is up next. Aggressors are down 20 points, no matter how you cut it. 3-man or the 6-man, both down 20. 220 for 6 aggressors. Not bad, man. Not bad.
100 for 3 is actually very good.
Yeah.
Think about it this way, right? 5 Legionaries is 90 points. 5 Intercessors is what, 80? Something like that. I don't know.
80 points. You're correct. Yeah.
So 3 aggressors for 20 points more for a unit that shoots good and punches good seems pretty good. I don't know. It seems quite good for 100 points.
So I'm just gonna lose my mind again. So an intercessor, 10 intercessors is 160 points. So they have priced a good power sword, a jump pack, and a storm shield at 3 points per model between them and the Vanguard vets.
Spicy.
Are you crazy? Oh my god. Captain with jump pack is down 10. The heavy intercessors are down 2 points per model, so 200 for 10 heavy intercessors, not too bad. And then Hellblasters are down 1 point per model. My heart sings. Love my Hellblasters. Next up, we have Calgar, who has gone down 10 points because, of course, he took a significant nerf. We've also had Reboot Gilliman go down 25 points because he's had a significant nerf also. 320 for Rowboat is actually pretty attractive still, so I doubt he's going to be dropped wholesale. Though, if you had to take one, in your ultras, would you take Rowboat or would you take Calgar? Calgar is...
I would never take Gilliman at his old price, at his old rules. I controversial opinion, I think it's not a good data sheet.
Fair. Yeah,
I think Marnius is great. I think
Marnius is
really
fantastic.
Good. But I think Gilliman is not a good data sheet.
Marnius, to me, is the perfect leader character in the game. He enhances every portion of your game. It makes your unit more durable by adding ablative wounds. He makes the unit logistically just incredible with advance and charge, fall back and charge, do whatever the hell you want. And he gives you CP, and he slams in combat. He is like the actual perfect leader unit. He does it all.
He's actually tough as well. Yeah,
He's tough as nails. Yeah. And then, of course, we've already told you about the Vanguard vets who went down 3 points per model, so -15 and -30. And that is, honestly... You could put Vanguard vets into every Marine army now. Every single one.
Here's the thing. If you ever don't have 3 units and you have 100 points left, your points should be spent on 5 Vanguard vets. Like, why
much.
Would you... Yeah.
Yep. How much? We're a Salt Intercessor with jump axe. Yeah, they're 90. 5 points more. They've priced a Storm Shield and a better weapon at 5 points per model more. So 5 points per unit more.
And they're actually good in several detachments too. They're good in BA. They're actually good in Dark Angels because they get the Deathwing keyword. So all the things that are activated by the Deathwing keyword are activated on Van Vets. They're good in Space Wolves. Space Wolves have a lot of really good strats for combat units.
Correct. Yep.
So they're good in Space Wolves. They're probably good in Black Templars, I'd imagine. Like,
yes, they are.
Just
giving you feel their pain.
Yeah. Like, how good is that on top of a Storm Shield, right? Like, they're good in almost every detachment. I don't know about the ones people don't play. What are they? Iron somethings.
Anvil Siege Force, First Company Task Force. But yeah, I think Vanguard vets are just invalidated JPIs for 5 points.
Yeah, they invalidate half the meta. To be honest, they're really good.
Yeah, stupidly good. All right, Space Wolves, of course, unchanged. Although we do have the new Space Wolf points here. So I don't know if you want to run through those quickly for people.
Yeah, look, these are the Codex points. So there are ups and downs. I'll just read off what's changed from what's printed in the back of the Codex.
Yep.
So Bjorn is down 10 to 170. Grey Hunters is down 10 to 180. Thunderwolf Cav are 100 or 220. So the 6-man is plus 20 points. Head Takers are down a point per 3. 5 points per 3. That is not math. 1 per 3 wouldn't make sense. Terminators are down 2 points a model. Wolfen, the normal Wolfen are up a point a model, and the Storm Shield Wolfen are up 2 points a model. And the Thunderwolf Fortitude enhancement in Saga of the Bold is down 5 points.
Yeah.
Can't really say what impact that's going to have because no one's played games with it yet, really. Hard to say.
Like I said, I do think 6 head takers for 170 is pretty juicy. And I do, Bjorn at 170, I think is fantastic. 3 Thunderwolf Cav for 100 is a bargain, in my opinion. Absolute freaking bargain for the toughness, durability, and output. All right, Tau. So Tau units went up.
Break their hearts, Adam. Break everyone's hearts.
I'm going to break all your freaking hearts. So not one single Tau unit went down. They all went up or stayed the same. 20 Kroot went up 10 points to 140. Still fine. Doesn't really touch the sides there.
Why, though?
Unnecessary. Because someone, I don't know, at team events is taking 120 Kroot and jailing people up for entire games. And that is the thing you can do.
Fair enough.
That's the thing you do. The stealth battle suits 3-mans went up 20 points. So it's 80 for 3 stealth suits now, and that is
fair. They're very good.
They're extremely good. You are just taking that unit at almost any cost because it's your easiest access to rerolls in your army. So yeah, you're just priced. They're simply, in all opinions, they're the same as Noise Marines. You kind of priced into them a couple of units no matter what. And then the 2 enhancements that got significantly buffed in Kauyon and Monkar through Unity Devoed is up 15 to 40 points. And the Monkar coordinated exploitation is up 20 points to 40 points. So those are 2 of the most expensive enhancements in the game. And once again, you're going to take them.
This is a good change. Here's the thing. They made the army rules so much better. Dude, Imagine if it was overtuned and the army rule came out and just made everything stupidly good. Like, imagine if it was overtuned and everyone had to deal with this for 3 months, right? I think this is the right move, and if it's not good enough, they can drop points next slate. I'm okay with that.
That's fair. That's fair. They'd rather be cautious with it when, doing such a dramatic overhaul to the army rule. I'm with that. I think I would have liked to have seen something go down here, just like something, anything, just as like a, here you go, like go for it. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Yeah. All right. T-Sun's unchanged. Take it away with NIDS.
Yeah, so the Hive Guard are down 10 points per 3, so down 10 and 20. The Hive Tyrant of both the winged and the flying, the winged and the walking tyrant are both down 30 points. So nice. 195 for the foot guy, 170 for the guy with the wings. The Psychophage is plus 15 to reflect the new datasheet rule. Screamer Killers are down 10 to 135, and the Swarm Lord is down 20. Which is interesting. I guess people aren't really playing the Swarm Lord, but that's a good change.
I genuinely like the flyer for 170. I think he might take 2 or 3 of them.
He's so bad in combat, though. Like for
yeah, actually, you're right. I was like thinking, like, oh wow, they just got like a cheap Demon Prince, but it's actually not even a Demon Prince. He sucks.
Yeah, he's kind of tough. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's fine. Nid's got out well here, honestly.
Oh, they did fine. Yeah, totally fine out of this. And World Eaters, unchanged, of course, just got their book. So none of the Cult Legions really saw any changes because they're so fresh. Yeah. Now, if you've been paying attention, if you've been listening to my voice, you can already tell that I think this is one of the worst MFMs of the edition. Do you agree or disagree with that hot take, mate?
It's not good. Yeah, it's not good.
The game was in a relatively good place, and now they have completely messed with so many things unnecessarily, in my opinion, like busy work. I don't know why they just decided that Blood Angels needed to be the biggest winner coming out of this MFM. They were a very, very, very good army. They were like the second best Astartes, in my opinion, the best teams Astartes already in the game. And now they're undisputably just one of the best value armies in the game. They've just got so much stuff. And I can't comprehend why they did that. And so holistically, like everything good went down. My brain is bending. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's pretty silly. I'm not really sure like what the reasoning was. It's not like BA were doing badly either. And I know they buffed Van Vets for like Space Marines in general, but surely someone saw the connection here and realized that unit is good in BA.
Yeah. So essentially you can play 3 big units of Vanguard Vets, 3 big units of Blade Guard. I mean, you wouldn't do this, but you could do 3 big units of Sangard and just have 4+ armor save the army and everything kills everything. Yeah. You wouldn't, but you could. That's just a thing you can do now. And you've probably got a bunch of points left, and it's insulting.
Man, or you take it in the new Dark Angels detachment and like all the Van Vets and the Blade Guard get -1 to wound against high strength and the invuln.
Yep.
And like the strats in that detachment are no joke either. Like, sure, you don't get the plus strength and plus attack, but like Van Vets have lethals. Lethals with Oath does in theory kill everything.
Correct.
Can kill everything.
Well, and the other thing is, turn 1, I chucked 20 Vanguard Vets on the middle objective. I've got a 1 CP plus 1 OC strat, and they're Death Guard, so they're Death Watch. So they're just going to charge you if you try and flip this objective or come anywhere near me.
Yeah, it's a bit dumb. I think this is probably that might be the single worst data slate change I've seen all edition. The Tower ones I think are fine. I think the Sisters changes are good.
Good, yes.
The Necrons changes are weird. I don't actually think it's going to move the dial much, but I don't know why they've buffed things that are already good. It seems a bit odd.
Yeah. I mean, if they didn't change a single point in Necrons, everyone would nod and be like, fair enough. Yeah?
Yeah.
Essentially. They're just like moving beans around for no reason. And it's frustrating. And then they continue to yo-yo orcs.
I have the feeling that there's like some data-based, analysis going on that someone doesn't quite understand. as to like what the criteria is for nerfing and buffing things, and it's just spat out this list of units they think they've needed to change. They've changed all these things unnecessarily. That's what I think has happened. They're using some sort of like, win rate thing where they're scraping the unit names, and they've done this not based on someone's opinion, but based on some arbitrary data point that doesn't make sense. That's my guess.
Fair. All right. The only other one I think is a dramatic change is the Emperor's Children, which I think their changes are like actually kind of significant. They're point for point. They're the most changed. They're probably equal with Eldari for the most changed army, point for point.
Yep.
And yet I still think they're kind of just fine coming out of this.
Yeah, fair.
All right. It's time for us to rate these. We're going to have to rate them separately. Sometimes we do them together. We're going to have to rate them separately because I think it's a very good balanced data slate. In fact, I think this is a great balanced data slate, like an 8 or a 9 out of 10 slate. What would you rate it as?
I would go 8. I think it's pretty good. I think it's the best one I've reviewed with you, mate. I think it's probably the best job they've done on that side of the game.
Yep. And what would you give the MFM?
Oh, I'm going to go 3. I think it's pretty bad. Maybe 2.5.
Yeah, I was going to go Stone Cold 2. Literally, they got
the Vanguard vet change on its own is like half a point off.
Yeah, I started at 0 for this, by the way.
Yeah,
they got a point for doing sisters right. Seriously, they got a point for like literally throwing sisters a bone and trying to push sisters up significantly. And then there's a couple of codexes that factions that they got spot on. Like I think apart from Dawns, they did Astra Militarum quite well. The fact that they didn't do Dawns is still mind-boggling to me. But then they left a bunch of stuff alone, like legitimately. CSM, left them alone. That's fine. No problems. Death Guard, of course, all those ones, left them alone. Drakari got thrown a bone. All these little bits and pieces are adding up to another point. So it gets 2 out of 10. But I'll reiterate again. It's kind of the worst one I've seen this edition. The worst one I can remember this edition.
It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
And we're all going to be feeling it very soon. We're all going to be feeling how oppressive it is to deal with like all of these super cheap Vanguard vets very, very soon. It is what it is.
Yeah. All right. On that note, hopefully you've got a lot out of this episode and you have enjoyed it at home. And yeah, we're going to go over and record part 2. We're going to give hot takes on the biggest winners and losers. You can pretty much tell where we're going with this. We're also giving hot takes on the new detachments and talk about how we feel about them in addition. And then, of course, you can...
I've got a suggestion.
What?
Will you give us the Vanguard veteran tier list on part 2?
What is that?
It's the tier list of where Vanguard veterans are best and worst. I want to know what your opinion on Vanguard veterans are in every detachment.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. I won't do that for every Astarte. I'll do that for the relevant Astartes detachments. I ain't ranking it for the ones I don't know the names of because there are many of those. All right. On that note, we're out of here. It's actually hilarious. Join us over on Patreon for part 2. And hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Hopefully we went too doom and gloom. I did go a bit hard in the paint on this MFM, and I apologize if it was a bit much. Seamus is probably going to have to use a lot of bleeps on this one, and hopefully that just demonstrates my passion for the game rather than turning anybody away. Soli, anything you'd like to say before we check out?
No, that's it. I can't wait for this Vanguard vet tier list that I've just conned you into with no warning whatsoever.
Just another day in the office, mate.
Excellent.